BASH&Slash.com presentation. Welcome to BASH.
Hey guys, welcome to BASHCast. Special guest on the show today, we have Josh from aggregame.com to tell us about a new way to participate in the gaming community, something he's calling Aggretweet Game Talk. So let's bring him on. Hey, how you doing, Josh?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, Jack?
I am fantastic. You know, it's hard to stay on top of all the innovations that are coming along these days in the world of social media and internet technology. But in your case, you not only appear to be on the cutting edge, you get in there, you know, you roll up your sleeves and you code it as well. I mean, I have a hard enough time trying to follow it. You actually go in and follow it and code it at the same time. It's pretty cool. Your latest offering is a really interesting concept. It's called Aggretweet Game Talk. Tell me a little bit about what that's all about.
So Aggretweet is the latest feature. It's a web app hosted by Aggregame. So it lives on aggregame.com. If you go to aggregame.com/live, that's where it's going to sort of live. You could also go to aggretweet.com, though. That'll redirect you right there. In essence, it's just aggregating a lot like the main site aggregates gaming news. Aggretweet aggregates your gaming tweets. So anybody who has a Twitter account and who happens to send a tweet about a game, any of the most popular games, it'll just get picked up in real time from Aggretweet, and it'll show up in our live feed. So when you actually load up the main Aggretweet site, the main Aggretweet page, you're going to be seeing all the tweets in real time about any number of different games. So you'll have The Sims 3, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, Madden NFL 10 is a real popular one right now. Basically, we don't want to. What we don't want to do is we don't want to have every single game in there. We don't want people being able to search for Madden 04. Nobody's going to really be tweeting and discussing it in any sort of frequency anymore. So it's really more of the most popular current age games like the Modern Warfare 2 and World at War, those types of games that are in here. So you send your tweet and it's gonna update in real time. And then of course there's a lot deeper functionality than just that main page. So yeah, you can see pretty much every tweet about every popular current day game. So the main feed's kind of fast and moves and updates pretty quickly. So if let's say maybe you just want to learn about, or you just want to see what news is breaking about Madden NFL 10, you can click on that game and you'll see only that feed. It'll basically be a subset, and it's still live, still real time, but you won't be seeing all the other ones. In addition, you'll also be able to participate in a real-time chat room, which we sort of Aggregame is littered with these real-time chat rooms. We're really a big proponent of real-time gaming conversations. So
I love that. I love that ability. It's sort of like a meta chat. I mean, there's a chat going on, and you could chat about the chat. I thought that was kind of really interesting way to do it.
Right.
Because Twitter is not a really real-time chat system, but
exactly. What we didn't want to do is we didn't want to encourage people to be spamming all of their followers with all their different with like an attempted Twitter conversation. Right. So yes, while you may be following a Madden 10 feed and you see some reviews popping up, maybe you just want to go back and chat with the other people who happen to be following the same tweets and just discuss what you guys are looking at.
Aggretweet is a great way to stay on top of what's new. A lot of people who will be using it or you want to, let's say, use it might not, because it has the word Twitter, sort of embedded in it. And a lot of gamers have sworn that they'd never want to use Twitter. You were an early adopter. You told me about it. In fact, you told a lot of other people about it. What attracted you to Twitter, and what are the benefits of it, do you think, for gamers?
From a social networking perspective, I think your average user doesn't quite understand the value of a one-to-many communication, both the value for the one, but also the many. So, for example, if I'm a one and I'm trying to get my message out to as many different people as possible, such as revealing Aggretweet, of course the value is there to having thousands of followers, because now with a single message, I'm reaching thousands of people guaranteed. They're going to get the update on their handheld device, for crying out loud. So it's very powerful for a corporation or a celebrity or or some other popular website to have their own sort of Twitter feed. But for the many, there's also value in it in that I can follow all of the big companies that I want to keep an eye on. Like I can follow TechCrunch, and I can follow Aggregame, and I can follow Microsoft and Linux, and Ubuntu has a feed for Linux, and so you have this ability now. I get all of my latest breaking news about all of the companies that I'm interested in one convenient little feed. So that's sort of why Twitter is so useful, in my opinion. That's why I was such an early adopter.
Well, and absolutely. And you know what? And to me, I mean, I can sit there and Aggretweet, and actually, sometimes you're looking for specific things, but sometimes you fall across, random things that are just absolute nuggets. And that's another great thing that I found about it. You're being hit by a lot of information, but you're also getting a lot of stuff you wouldn't if you were just looking for one specific thing. And that's one of the interesting things that Aggretweet gives me.
So let's say here's an example. You're watching the Aggretweet live feed, and you happen to see a bunch of people talking about how they're playing Sims 3 right now, and
right.
you want to find more people to play Sims 3 with, or Sims 3 is really not that much of an online game. So let's say that you see a lot of people talking about a new World at War tournament. Well, now all of a sudden you've learned about this World at War tournament that you might not have known existed. Another aspect that's really cool, especially around this time of year, is all the games convention news that's coming out. So I've actually been watching the feed, and I'll see tweets prefixed with the GC09 tags and whatnot, and I'm learning. I'm getting my news as it breaks. These are people who are on the show floor in Germany at the games convention who are just tweeting, oh, I just saw this, it looks awesome, incredible, or EA just announced the release date of Battlefield Bad Company 2. That happened just a few days ago, and again, so you started seeing those tweets coming through, and that's just, I think that's a really powerful utility.
I see a whole bunch of graphs embedded on the right-hand side. It says top games, and I see a whole bunch of them there. I think you've got something like about 10, and then there's most active gamers. What's all that about? How does that get me information?
Right. Well, so the graphs are going to be maybe even more interesting to, like, let's say a publisher or a developer or someone who operates a fan site. So the graphs are a great way to metric how each game is performing against the other games on Twitter right now. So you can actually now get this nice visual representation of via this graph, and you can scale it by right now, which is basically the past 6 hours, the past 24 hours, week, and month views, and you can actually see the trend with this visual graph representation of exactly how many tweets are coming in across a certain time period, and then we rank order that against each other. So right now, while we're recording this, Madden NFL 10 is taking the lead. It's the most popular game right now. It just came out. Of course, everybody's playing it. It's Madden season. So and that's really sort of, I guess you could call it the ComScore for Twitter gaming buzz. It's a good way to rank order a game against another in terms of popularity. And then beneath that, like you said, you'll see the most active gamers, and that's just your own little leaderboard of people who are tweeting about games. So you have a chance of being at the top of this leaderboard if you happen to just talk a lot about video games. And then every time that you filter it down, so if you go ahead and load only the Madden feed, or you load only the Modern Warfare 2 feed, you'll be seeing you'll actually see the top gamers for only that game. So it breaks it down by that as well. So maybe you can't be the most active tweeter in the world, but maybe you could be the most active tweeter about Call of Duty.
That is cool. You're in beta right now, right?
Yeah, so Aggretweet's in beta right now. We're going to be coming out of beta pretty soon. We're hoping early to mid-September is when we're going to actually go public and wide with this thing. So, but right now, I mean, of course, I'm going to give Bash and Slash a bunch of codes to give out to their readers. You could follow us at Aggregame on Twitter. That's AGGREGAME, and you're going to be able to secure your codes that way as well.
I'm hypnotized by the thing. I'm going to be watching it a lot, especially in the next couple of weeks with all the various games coming out. This is a great way to get your information. Thank you very much, Josh, for coming by and letting us know about Aggretweet. Another hit for you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jack. Take care.